Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Under the soft glow of flickering fluorescent lights, Arjun's eyes widened with disbelief as he heard the proposal that would change his weekend plans.
"You can't be serious,"
he managed to utter, his voice carrying a mix of shock and amusement. Their eyes met across the cafe table, where Monica's sat. With an unwavering gaze, Monica leaned forward, her determination palpable. "Arjun, I need a huge favor." Arjun took a slow sip of his coffee, considering the gravity of this request.
"I'm asking you to be my fake partner at a party this Saturday."
He broke up with me to find himself, and now he's parading his new girlfriend everywhere. I just need him to think I've moved on, too. Arjun took a sip of his cooling coffee.
"Can't you find an actual woman to help you with this? In 3 days? Besides, you're the only one I trust enough."
Monica reached across the table, touching his arm. "It would just be for one night. You're slender, you have delicate features. With the right outfit and makeup, you could totally pass."
"Delicate features?"
Arjun scoffed, though privately, he'd always known his face wasn't traditionally masculine. His mother had often commented on his long eyelashes and soft jawline, features he'd grown self-conscious about over the years. Monica must have seen the hesitation in his eyes. "I'll make it worth your while. I'll write your term paper for Professor Hadley's class." Arjun raised an eyebrow. Monica was an English major, and he was struggling with that particular assignment.
"The entire paper?"
"Every word." Monica grinned, knowing she had him. "Come on. One evening in a dress versus 20 hours of research and writing? Easiest trade ever." Arjun sighed, already regretting the words forming on his lips.
"If I do this, and I'm not saying I will, nobody can ever know. Not one person."
"Deal." Monica clapped her hands together. "We're going shopping tomorrow!" The following afternoon, Arjun found himself being dragged through a department store, Monica's enthusiasm contrasting sharply with his growing anxiety. She held up a red cocktail dress against his frame. "Perfect. The color will complement your skin tone, and it's simple enough to be believable."
"This is insane,"
Arjun muttered, glancing nervously around the store.
"I can't try this on here."
"Don't worry," Monica said, adding the dress to their growing collection. "We'll take these to my apartment. My roommate's away for the weekend." 2 hours later, Monica's bedroom had transformed into an impromptu styling salon. Dresses were strewn across her bed, a makeup kit open on her desk, and a brunette wig perched on a stand.
"I feel ridiculous,"
Arjun confessed, holding the red dress against his chest. "You haven't even tried it on yet." Monica smiled reassuringly. "Trust me, by the time I'm done with you, you'll be the most convincing girlfriend ever." Arjun slipped into the bathroom with the dress, his heart pounding. The silky fabric felt strange against his skin as he pulled it over his head. He'd expected to feel immediately disgusted, but instead, there was only curiosity as the material settled around his frame. The dress wasn't tight, but it hugged his body in ways his usual clothes never did, highlighting curves he didn't know he possessed. "Let me see!" Monica called from outside. Taking a deep breath, Arjun opened the door. Monica's eyes widened. "Wow," she breathed. "Arjun, you look surprisingly good."
"I look like a man in a dress,"
he countered, avoiding his reflection in Monica's full-length mirror.
"Not for long."
She gestured to the chair in front of her desk. "Sit. The transformation begins now." Arjun sat obediently as Monica worked. She applied foundation, concealer, and powder, contouring his face to soften his features. She curled his lashes and applied mascara, dabbed blush on his cheeks, and finished with a rose-colored lipstick. "Don't look yet," she instructed, retrieving the wig.
"This is going to pull everything together."
The sensation of the wig settling on his head was strange, but not unpleasant. Monica adjusted it carefully, tucking away stray strands of his natural hair and arranging the blonde locks to frame his face.
"Blonde?"
Arjun questioned, having expected the brunette wig he'd seen earlier. "I changed my mind," Monica explained. "The warmer tone works better with your coloring. Now shoes." She produced a pair of modest black heels, which Arjun eyed warily. "I'll break my neck." "They're only 2 inches. You'll be fine." Monica handed them to him. "Practice walking around the room while I find some jewelry." Standing carefully, Arjun slipped into the shoes. His height increased slightly, changing his posture. He took tentative steps, wobbling at first, but gradually finding his balance. There was something oddly empowering about the subtle click of heels against hardwood. "Not bad," Monica commented, returning with a simple pendant necklace and small hoop earrings. After attaching the clip-on earrings and fastening the necklace, she stepped back, a triumphant smile spreading across her face. "Okay, now you can look." Arjun turned toward the mirror, bracing himself for embarrassment. What he saw instead left him speechless. The person in the reflection wasn't recognizably Arjun anymore. Long blonde hair fell in gentle waves past shoulders draped in red fabric. The makeup softened his features, enhanced his eyes, and gave his lips a subtle fullness. "I look beautiful," Monica finished for him. "We just need to work on your voice and mannerisms, and you'll be perfect." Throughout the week, Monica coached Arjun on how to sit, walk, and talk more femininely. They decided on a name, Taylor, and created a backstory. They'd met in a literature class, bonded over coffee, and had been dating for 2 months. By Saturday evening, Arjun felt peculiarly prepared for his role, though the butterflies in his stomach hadn't subsided. "Remember," Monica said as they approached Daniel's apartment building, "you're Taylor tonight. Confident, charming Taylor." Arjun nodded, adjusting the pink satin dress Monica had ultimately chosen for the event. It flowed more gracefully than the red one, she'd insisted, and made him appear more delicate. "You look amazing," Monica assured him, squeezing his hand. "No one will suspect a thing." The party was already in full swing when they arrived. Music pulsed through the crowded apartment, and conversations competed with the beat. Arjun felt dozens of eyes turn toward them as Monica led him inside. Her arm linked through his. "Monica!" A tall man with dark curly hair approached them, his gaze traveling curiously to Arjun.
"Didn't expect to see you here."
"Wouldn't miss it, Daniel." Monica's voice carried a practiced casualness. "This is Taylor, my girlfriend." Daniel's eyebrows rose slightly. "Girlfriend? That's new." "Not that new," Monica replied coolly. "We've been together for a couple of months now." She turned to Arjun with an affectionate smile.
"Right, babe?"
Arjun summoned Taylor's voice, the higher pitch he'd practiced all week. "We met in Professor Keller's American Lit class. Monica spilled coffee all over my notes, and I still gave her my number." The story earned a laugh from Daniel, easing some of the tension.
"Well, welcome, Taylor.
Make yourself at home. Drinks are in the kitchen.
As Daniel moved away to greet other guests, Monica whispered, "You're doing great. Let's mingle." The next hour passed in a blur of introductions and small talk. Arjun found that the more he settled into Taylor's persona, the more natural it felt. He adopted subtle feminine gestures, touching his hair, crossing his legs when sitting, laughing softly with a hand near his mouth. Each successful interaction bolstered his confidence.
Your girlfriend is gorgeous,
one of Monica's friends commented when Arjun stepped away to get drinks.
Where have you been hiding her?
Monica launched into their rehearsed story, and Arjun felt a strange pride hearing it told. In the kitchen, he carefully poured 2 glasses of wine, conscious of his movements.
Need help with those?
Arjun turned to find a man he didn't recognize watching him with interest.
I've got it. Thanks, he replied, keeping Taylor's voice steady. I'm Owen, Daniel's cousin.
The man leaned against the counter.
Haven't seen you at these gatherings before.
First time.
Arjun offered a polite smile. I'm here with Monica.
Recognition flashed in Owen's eyes.
Ah, the ex's new girlfriend. Bold move. It wasn't meant to be bold,
Arjun responded, finding confidence in the character he was playing.
It was meant to be a date night.
Owen laughed appreciatively.
Well, you're certainly making an impression. That dress is stunning.
The compliment sent an unexpected warmth through Arjun. Thank you. When he returned to Monica with the drinks, he noticed Daniel watching them from across the room, a perplexed expression on his face. It's working, Monica whispered, taking her glass. He's been asking people about you. As the night progressed, Arjun found himself genuinely enjoying the evening. The weight of the wig became familiar, the press of the dress against his skin comfortable. When Monica pulled him onto the makeshift dance floor, he moved with a freedom he'd never experienced as himself, allowing the music to guide his body. You're a natural, Monica murmured as they swayed together. If I didn't know better, I'd never believe you weren't born female. The words resonated in Arjun's chest, stirring something he couldn't quite name. Later, as they prepared to leave, Daniel approached them again.
You two make a good couple,
he admitted, his expression sincere.
I'm happy for you, Monica.
The victory should have felt complete, but on the cab ride back to Monica's apartment, Arjun was uncharacteristically quiet. What's wrong? Monica asked. The plan worked perfectly.
I know.
Arjun gazed out the window, watching the city lights blur together. It's just, I didn't hate it. Monica tilted her head. Being my girlfriend?
Being Taylor.
The admission came softly.
Wearing the dress, the way people looked at me, not at Arjun, but at her. It felt right, somehow.
Monica studied him thoughtfully.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. Isn't it?
Arjun turned to her.
What does it say about me that I felt more comfortable tonight than I have in years? Maybe it says you've been hiding something from yourself.
Monica's voice was gentle. Or maybe you just enjoyed the performance. Either way, it's okay. Back at Monica's apartment, Arjun removed the wig and makeup, changed into his regular clothes, the brown cardigan and jeans from earlier, and looked at himself in the mirror. His reflection felt foreign now, as if he were looking at a stranger.
Thank you for tonight,
he told Monica at her door.
And not just for the term paper.
She smiled knowingly. Any time, Arjun. Or should I say, Taylor. The name echoed in his mind long after he'd returned to his own apartment. 2 weeks later, Monica found Arjun in the university library, surrounded by textbooks. "Hey, stranger," she greeted, sliding into the chair across from him.
"Haven't seen much of you lately."
Arjun closed his book, offering a small smile.
"Been busy. How are things with Daniel?"
"Non-existent, just how I like them." Monica leaned forward. "But I didn't come to talk about Daniel. I came to return something you left at my place." She slid a small bag across the table. Arjun opened it cautiously, finding a tube of the rose-colored lipstick he'd worn that night.
"I didn't leave this," he said quietly. "Consider it a gift, then." Monica's eyes were kind. "In case Taylor ever wants to make another appearance."
Arjun stared at the lipstick, a flutter of excitement and fear tangling in his chest.
"I've been thinking about her a lot," he confessed. "About how it felt to be her."
Monica nodded encouragingly.
And I bought a dress."
The words tumbled out.
"Nothing fancy, just a simple blue one. I tried it on in my apartment, alone." "How did it feel?"
Arjun looked up, vulnerability raw in his expression.
"Like coming home."
Over the next few months, Arjun's explorations continued in the privacy of his apartment. The blue dress was joined by a floral skirt, then a blouse, then more. He ordered his own blonde wig online, one that matched the style Monica had chosen, but felt more natural, more his own. He practiced makeup, studied women's mannerisms, and gradually built a collection of feminine attire hidden in the back of his closet. Each time he transformed into Taylor, the sensation of rightness grew stronger. It wasn't about the party or the performance anymore. It was about finally seeing himself clearly. 6 months after Daniel's party, Arjun invited Monica to his apartment. When she arrived, Taylor opened the door, dressed in a simple green sweater and jeans, blonde hair falling naturally around her shoulders. Monica's eyes widened.
"Taylor,"
she breathed, understanding immediately. They talked for hours. Arjun explained the journey of the past months, the internal struggle, the research into gender identity, and the growing certainty that Taylor wasn't just a character. She was who he was meant to be. "I think I've always known something wasn't quite right," Taylor explained, more comfortable in her feminine voice now. "I just never had the framework to understand it until that night." "So what happens now?" Monica asked. Taylor took a deep breath. "I want to transition. Live as Taylor full-time. It's terrifying, but staying as Arjun feels impossible now." Monica reached across the table, squeezing Taylor's hand. "Then that's what you'll do, and I'll be with you every step of the way." The path wasn't easy. Taylor began therapy, started hormone replacement therapy, and gradually came out to friends and family. Some relationships fractured, while others strengthened. Her parents struggled initially, but eventually came to support her, particularly after seeing how much happier she was living authentically. University presented its own challenges. Taylor transferred to online courses for 1 semester while beginning her social transition, returning to campus the following fall as herself. There were whispers and stares, but also unexpected allies and moments of profound acceptance. Throughout it all, Monica remained a steadfast friend, offering guidance, support, and the occasional wardrobe consultation. 2 years after that fateful party, Taylor stood in front of her mirror, hardly recognizing the person she had once been. Hormone therapy had softened her features further, redistributed fat to create subtle curves, and given her skin a softer appearance. Her own blonde hair now reached past her shoulders, no wig necessary. She wore a floral sundress, the fabric light against her skin, preparing for a graduation party Monica was hosting. "You look beautiful," Monica said, appearing in the doorway of Taylor's bedroom. "Ready to go?" Taylor nodded, gathering her purse. "You know, I never properly thanked you." "For what?" "For needing a fake girlfriend that night." Taylor smiled. "For seeing something in me I couldn't see in myself." Monica returned the smile. "I just gave you an opportunity. You were brave enough to take it." At the party, Taylor moved through the crowd with confidence, chatting with classmates who'd witnessed her transition and meeting new people who'd never known her as anyone but herself. Midway through the evening, she found herself speaking with a man named Robert, a friend of Monica's from her publishing internship.
"So, how do you know Monica?"
Robert asked, his interest evident in the way he maintained eye contact. "We've been friends for years," Taylor replied. "She helped me through some big changes in my life."
"She's good at that," Robert agreed. "She helped me find my first apartment when I moved here. Practically bullied the landlord into giving me a fair price."
Taylor laughed. "That sounds like Monica." Their conversation flowed easily, touching on books, career aspirations, and favorite places in the city. When Robert asked for her number at the end of the night, Taylor provided it without hesitation, a flutter of excitement in her chest. Dating as her authentic self brought new joys and challenges. Taylor was open about her identity with Robert early on, relieved when he responded with understanding and continued interest in getting to know her better. Their relationship developed naturally, built on shared interests and genuine connection. 3 years after the night she'd first become Taylor, she stood in Monica's apartment, wearing a soft cashmere sweater and jeans, helping her friend prepare for a dinner party. "Can you believe it's been 3 years?" Monica mused, arranging flowers in a vase. "Sometimes I forget there was ever anyone but Taylor." Taylor smiled, chopping vegetables for the salad. "I forget, sometimes too. Then I remember and feel grateful all over again."
"Grateful for what?"
Robert asked, entering the kitchen with a bottle of wine. "For Monica forcing me into a pink satin dress to make her ex jealous." Taylor replied with a laugh. Robert wrapped an arm around her waist, pressing a kiss to her temple.
"Then, I'm grateful too. Though I'm partial to you in that blue dress you wore on our second date."
The doorbell rang, announcing the arrival of more guests. As Monica went to answer it, Robert turned to Taylor.
"You know, I've been meaning to ask you something,"
he began, a hint of nervousness in his voice. Taylor raised an eyebrow. "Oh?"
"My lease is up next month, and I was thinking..."
He paused, gathering courage.
"Maybe we could look for a place together."
Joy bloomed in Taylor's chest. "I'd like that." Later that evening, surrounded by friends in Monica's warm apartment, Taylor caught a glimpse of her reflection in a window. The blonde hair, the soft sweater, the easy smile. This was who she had always been meant to be. What had started as a single evening in a borrowed dress had become a life reclaimed. As if sensing her thoughts, Monica raised her glass in a subtle toast from across the room. Taylor returned the gesture, endless gratitude in her eyes for the friend who had unknowingly given her the courage to become herself. When dinner ended and guests began to depart, Taylor lingered to help clean up. Monica handed her a small gift-wrapped box. "What's this for?" Taylor asked, surprised. "Consider it an anniversary present," Monica replied. 3 years since Taylor's debut. Inside the box was a delicate silver bracelet with a charm in the shape of a dress. To remind you how far you've come, Monica explained, and that sometimes the most life-changing journeys start with a single step, or, in your case, a single party. Taylor fastened the bracelet around her wrist, emotions thick in her throat. I never expected a favor for a friend would change my entire life. The best changes are often the ones we don't see coming, Monica said wisely. As Taylor walked home with Robert that night, her hand in his, the bracelet catching moonlight on her wrist, she reflected on the winding path that had brought her here. From reluctant agreement to profound self-discovery, from hiding in a borrowed identity to living boldly in her truth. What had begun as one evening had become forever, a transformation more complete and fulfilling than she could have ever imagined. Taylor looked up at the star-filled sky, silently thanking the universe for that fateful request, that red dress, that first glimpse of herself in the mirror. She was home now, in her body, in her life, in her truth, and she would never look back.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!